We'll keep this empty. Welcome back to Reform Resistance. I thought I'd do, instead of a rant video to come back, I thought I'd come do a more in-depth look at my Mk12 we have at home, inspired by obviously the Mk12. And the purpose behind it, talk about the purpose behind a rifle like this versus something smaller, and the practical applications, along with just kind of an idea of why I built this and the plan for it. And so, enjoy. Action. To start us off, we'll just go ahead and go through a breakdown of the rifle to kind of explain what it's made out of, the upper, the lower, stock obviously. We'll go through, a couple weeks ago I did the first 100-yard grouping that I tried. Long range is I know that's not really long, but I wanted to try to improve my longer range skills versus just LARPing on the flat range. What does it look like actually 100 yards? What's the best grouping I can do? I'm going to do another one today. We'll talk about that. But first, let's go ahead and get into the gun. This is actually an 80% lower. I'm a big fan of that. You can build your own firearms without a background check. Advocate of it, obviously. I have a BCM stock. I really enjoy this stock. But again, it's a stock. It all comes down to preference. I have a Hogue grip, one that's more of a flatter one. I like it just because I can easily get around to the trigger like this. This is my preference when I'm shooting, trying to actually group. Standard mil-spec trigger. This is going to be a long-term build that I'm going to just keep improving, hopefully over time. And then we actually have a PSA 20-inch lightweight upper. And the reason why I kind of want to go over this is to give people a better idea of what the 20-inch upper can do, because there really isn't much, there aren't many videos on YouTube that actually highlight the gun and highlight the accuracy, highlight what is it like to shoot. It's really just people going over, showing what it looks like, and that's about it. I don't have too many rounds through this gun. It's probably 200 rounds, if that. Working on a single income budget, so I'm trying to time out. I did just get some ammo, that's why we're out here shooting. It came with a mil-spec charging handle. That'll upgrade. Mil-spec bolt carrier group from PSA. Just their standard black one. Mlok rail from PSA. I do have a Streamlight. I think it's the HLX. I don't know. I've spray painted it so many times. I'm a big believer that you need a light on your gun. And for the optic, I actually did a Swampfox Kentucky Long 2-12. I don't really have an opinion on this optic yet. I'm building it out. I just got this for a stupid good deal. I believe for the mount, the optic, and the canted red dot, I think I got it for less than $700 total. It was their 4th of July sale. It was like 20-30% off. To kind of look at the optic setup a little bit better, the mount that I picked from Swampfox was the hostile engagement mount, which actually has RMR points on it. And then obviously canted red dot for quicker acquisition. I don't know how I like this setup. The mount itself is pretty heavy, and I'm probably going to upgrade it with a worn mount. Yeah, and then I'm trying to decide if I would much rather have it canted or on the top. But again, that's just going to come with drills. I would like to be able to have enough rounds out of this setup to be able to say if it's good or not, and if it works for me. Everybody's different. You do what you have to do to get your setup. Yeah, I'll try to put up a picture of what the Kentucky Long reticle is. We'll do it just over here. It's a good reticle, no complaints. Has a mill tree on it. As I'm trying to push this gun out, I'm having to study a lot on how to actually read distances through it. What are the holdovers for 5.56? And what overall, I think this setup is pretty practical. Yeah, it's a long gun. 20 inches is nothing to scoff at. But this is what 5.56 was built for. Obviously, it was, when the AR-15 came about in the 60s, technology has improved. I just am shooting 55 grain because that's really all I want to purchase right now. But you can still do quite a bit. And with where I'm at, it wouldn't be surprising to have to shoot out to 100, 200 yards in a crap at the fan scenario. Hopefully that would never happen. But obviously, there's a huge difference between this and this. This is a 10.5 inch. This is a 20 inch. Paul Harrell actually has a really good video on velocities of different barrel length. He does a 10.5, 16 inch, and 20 inch. And there's a reason why we originally had the 20 inch and the difference that it made. It flies 5.56. 55 grain shoots out of 20 inch barrel, I believe, 3,200 feet per second. It is, it's still an effective round. 55 grain, as people say, oh yeah, the way to get the most out of your 5.56 is 77 grain. The 5.56 round has probably arguably killed the most people with a firearm. Our military has put a lot of people in the ground because of it. And you look at the Taliban; they're all picking the M4s that we left over there due to the withdrawal in Afghanistan. And so yeah, I just want to be able to go over this gun. We'll do some shooting with it. Let me grab this. This was the first grouping that I did with this. As you can see, it's a little wide. I'll come in here a little bit. It is a little wide. I know that I at least pulled one of these. This is a decent 3-shot group, but again, that's only 3 shots. I'm not going to hang my hat on that, and that's why I'm out here, to get better, to train, to actually be lethal with the stuff that I have. Why should you listen to me? You shouldn't. I just am a guy that loves firearms. I want to talk about them. And so, yeah, let's do some more shooting. We'll look at some reloads, because obviously operating reloads with a 20 inch is a heck of a lot different than shooting with a 10.5 inch. This is my 10.5 inch that I'm still slowly upgrading to make sure it's unloaded. Probably the biggest regret of the purchase is this Olight. It was a waste of money. I wouldn't do it. This thing is not durable. The tape switch with it. I would like to upgrade it, but I have a few other things that I do want to get first. But it works, and so yeah, that'll come. But anyways, back to the 20 inch. Yeah, I do not have enough reps to really say that I'm proficient with this, and that's going to be the goal, to kind of show you guys what it's like shooting with this. Is it practical for your scenario? The big thing that I would say that gives a 20 inch barrel the advantage is the velocity. The 5.56 was meant to be a fast round, and you get all of the benefit of the 5.56. And if you really work with this gun, you can be proficient with it. I'd recommend anybody looking at the Battle of Fallujah, where Marines were actually investigated for war crimes for the shots that they were making out to, I think it was 800 yards, with a 5.56 or with 20 inch M16 with a 4x ACOG. This is still a practical setup. The big difference between this and versus why I call it the Mark 12 at home. Obviously, I'm not going to be paying for a Mark 12 upper. I can't afford it. I don't want to afford it. Mark 12s have an 18 inch barrel. This is a 20 inch. I am hoping to get my first suppressor soon. I told myself I won't get it till I get my CPA. And so, yeah, that'll be my little gift to myself. But let's go ahead and get some rounds through it. Let's try reloading it, because it's a heck of a lot different and a lot heavier than what I'm used to. And yeah, let's just get rounds downrange. All right, we're gonna just do some rounds. I have a target, probably 20 yards away. Again, what I'm just trying to do right now is get used to going through the motions of reloading with this big of a gun, because it's a lot different than, it's obviously going to be way different than reloading with a 10.5 inch, even a 16. And so getting the basics, I'm not going to be doing anything crazy, not going to be doing anything flashy, but just getting the process of reloading, getting the manual of arms done before I can really speed things up. I'm focusing on the scope right now because I'm used to shooting with a red dot. I have an EOTech on my other one, and I just want to improve the process of getting my sight picture, improving the speed in which I can engage the target, going from shooting out of ammo, being able to reload. And so we'll go ahead and take a look at what it looks like to run a 20-inch AR. We'll do a couple drills. We'll go through it. I don't have a shot timer yet. Maybe if I can get enough subscribers, get paid by YouTube, I can get that. Which, by the way, if you're sitting here enjoying the video, make a sacrifice to the gods of the algorithm, whether you're being a time theft or drinking a beer, sitting on the toilet, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, tell me what you think about the video and what do you think about the rifle in the comments. Be critical, be mean. The gun community is mean. Tell me my rifle sucks and I suck at shooting, and that's okay. Yeah, so let's go ahead and get started. So the big thing that I'm noticing that what I want to do is I can't just leave the gun like this and be holding it up like I can with my 10.5. That's the biggest thing that I'm noticing. When I'm reloading, I got to bring the gun up to underneath my armpit so I don't get pulled down. That could be maybe I'm just too weak. But again, the 20-inch AR is still a light gun, but it's still front heavy. Okay, one of the upgrades that I'm maybe thinking about doing is getting one of the carbon fiber, I think it's PRI, hand guards, but we'll see. Again, there's other things that I'm trying to prioritize, whether it's getting more ammo or prepping, more food supplies, more water, stuff like that. All right, let's run it again. This reticle, the nice thing about this optic is it's pretty bright. I'm in a shaded area, and obviously I can recognize it. When I point out to the sun over here, it's daylight noticeable, but again, in the low light situation, this is going to be more than enough to do. All right, let's do another one. The big thing, and you can comment if you notice it, the big thing that I'm forgetting is when I'm out, I need to be able to get that finger, my thumb, and move the gun to safe while I'm reloading. You should only be taking your gun off safe when you are planning to shoot. That's the biggest thing. Do not leave your gun on fire, unless you have a target in front of you. All right, let's do it again. Got to put it on safe that time. Got to build good habits, so let's do it a little bit slower. And what I'll do after we're done with this, I'll show you the difference in the 10.5 and how it was reloading. And let me know if you struggle with reloading with a longer gun. I don't even want to call it a struggle. It's being able to actually manipulate the firearm in an efficient process. If I'm struggling to keep the gun balanced, that isn't efficient. I need to be able to bring it in, reload, and get back to firing as soon as I can. All right, let's run it again. Alrighty. Get that gun down. Another nice thing about the 20-inch, this is obviously empty. A nice thing about the 20-inch, it recoils so smooth. It is an easy gun to shoot. It's an easy gun to stay on target. Barely kicks at all. That's one of the advantages of the 20-inch as well, is you can get effective follow-up shots downrange quickly. All right, let's go to the 10.5 and show you the difference. Alrighty, we got the 10.5. A fun little tip that I always recommend doing: put earplugs in your Mlok in case you forget or in case you ever need them. You always have Ear Pro with you. Okay, again, the easy thing with 10.5s or shorter guns is they are light. You don't have to get it as snug. Or it's easy just to keep it here. Keep your gun downrange. You can quickly reload. Okay, we'll run through this. We'll just do 1, reload, 2. Oh, forgot to load it. All right, here we go. It's much easier to manipulate, much easier to get rounds down range, or much easier to reload, to get back to firing. But again, the velocity in which this comes out is only about 2,600 feet per second. That's going to make a difference in putting people down. That's a big difference. So now what we're going to do, we're going to set up a target. We're going to reset the target, and we're going to go back to 100 yards, and we're going to try to do a group, or probably do a couple groups, and see what kind of accuracy we can get out of this gun. All right, this is the setup we have going. I'm going to try to do a couple groups on here. It will be 5-shot groups, probably at each corner target. And so let's go ahead and see what we got, and let's see what this Palmetto State Armory can do. All right, we got 55 grain Fiocchi target max, 100 yards. Again, we're just seeing just trying to get relative groupings, give you the data of what this upper can do. I'm going to be honest, not the best at this. But this is the data that I wish I had on this exact upper. And I think it'd be helpful to any buyer. You see if it can convince them to buy it or not. So yeah, remember this is the 2-12 optics, so I'm not super close. But let's see how it does. Okay, so I was aiming here. Well, trying to. This is the first grouping. It's not a 1 MOA gun. You're not buying Palmetto State Armory for a 1 MOA gun. I may need to reconfirm 0 later, but this, not bad. I mean, we're looking at 1.5 inch. It's not bad. Let's go ahead and get another group down range. All right, let's go for group number 2. We'll probably end up doing 3 groupings today. Just to give you an idea, we'll compare it to my first time trying to group this gun. And yeah, let's see what we can do. Gun's clear. All right, this is group number 2. I was aiming for right here. All right, it looks like, well shoot, we may have had, could have sworn I did 5, but I may have only loaded 4 unless, I mean, look at, you got 2 pretty much on top of each other, you know, for a $350 upper with bolt carrier and charging handle. That's pretty dang good. So to compare, here's your first one. Here's your second one. Let's go see what we can do for a third and final grouping to verify the accuracy of this. So I do want to say that I did just rewatch the footage on that last grouping. There was 5 shots. So either I pulled one and it went way off the board, or we stacked rounds. I'm not going to claim either. Well, I'll just claim that I pulled one. That would be shooter error. I'm not going to try to act like I'm some superior shooter, because I'm not. Just a guy trying to train. Third and final group. Let's see what this gun can do. And we'll compare it to the last results from the last time I came out here to shoot. Gun's hot. All right, that for sure was 5 rounds. Gun's empty. Let's go check out that grouping. Yeah, the groupings overall, I think they're encouraging. You know, they obviously can be improved by me as a shooter the more that I'm out here. Comment down below to see what, you know, to give me your thoughts on this set of groupings. We have group number 1, group number 2, which I wouldn't be surprised if there's a flyer. I'm not going to say that I did confirm on the footage that I did fire 5, but I'm not going to claim that I put all 3 right here. You know, I'm going to leave that up to you guys. But even if this was a 4-shot group, this was encouraging from this upper. Third grouping, a little more sporadic. Probably would say that I pulled at least 1. But again, if this is a man-sized target, you know, 4 inches, that's still going to hit them and provide a, you know, it's going to incapacitate them. All right, you are going to put bodies down. All right, so like I said, this was my first attempt at grouping. You know, you have these 3 solid shots, and I would say that these are by me. Definitely user error, pulling. Okay, and then to compare with this, you know, I think that's a solid improvement. If you guys want, please let me know if you want me to continue grouping the gun, showing you, you know, how this gun operates, how it works at the 100 yards. I do want to try to push this out to 200, 300, 400 yards. I have the ability to do it. But yeah, leave a comment on what you think about these groupings. Obviously, this one up here is a little rough. All right, we got that flyer right here. But this grouping, again, I do not believe, I mean, I want to say that I missed one of the shots in here. This only looks like four hits. And then this one down here, I think they're solid for what you're getting for the package. Again, I'll take this. I'll take this any day. Again, for the money, I think it's worth it. Yeah, so let's continue. Before I see you guys off, I want to encourage you, in the crazy times that we live in, as our government isn't doing its job and is showing more and more that their authority is becoming more and more illegitimate. I want to encourage you to figure out what you believe in. I would encourage you guys to seek out Christ. Seek out the Son of God that gave himself up. Seek the true Christ, not Mormonism, not Jehovah's Witness, but the one true God. And then figure out what else you believe in dying for. It's going to make that day. And I pray that there's never a day that we have to use these firearms. I pray that I am just a guy that has that conceals every day and never uses it and never expects to use it. But as our government increasingly becomes tyrannical, are you willing to die for what you believe in? I encourage you to figure that out. If you believe the right to bear arms, what extent do you believe that right to be? If you're in a state that restricts those firearms, move. And I know it sounds it's easier said than done, but there's a reason why I'm in Texas now, because I had to do what's best for my family, and this is what's best. Move to somewhere that encourages your values, that shares your values. There's a reason why it's called the Bible Belt. It's a heck of a lot better than being in these degenerate states that hate you and see you as tax cattle. And so I just want to encourage you to really think and pray. And if you're single, even better. Get to the Bible Belt, marry someone that has the same views as you, have lots of babies, because the world isn't ending irregardless of what happens here. You guys have a great day. Happy Sunday.